Ooh.
Pancake robot, come and get 'em all they're hot.
The pancake robot is coming to town. He's mixing up the batter and he's laying it down. Buttermilk, blueberry, chocolate chip. 50 million pancakes he's gonna flip. All you can eat, yum yum. All you can eat, yum yum. The pancake robot is coming to town. All you can eat, yum yum. All you can eat, yum yum. It's a pancake explosion, come and party down.
Pancake robot, come and get 'em all they're hot.
It is Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. National Pancake Day is here. Did you have pancakes this morning? No, neither did I. I'm actually more of a waffle man. I love waffles. Not so much the pancakes. I mean, I'll eat them, don't get me wrong. I prefer them as a blanket for my sausage links. Of course, I'm talking about pigs in a blanket. I think I became souring on pancakes when I was growing up because whenever I would go to my grandma and grandpa Holst's house for the weekend, grandma would always make pancake for breakfast one morning. And it always had a nice little hint of Marlboro from her cigarette smoking. So it was like you're eating pancakes and a little smoky. And not the good kind of smoky like a barbecue, but like, and that's kind of what it was. But Mom made the best waffles. So I'm more of a waffle guy. But if you are a pancake person, congratulations. This is your day to celebrate. Tonight on the show, well, first of all, I wasn't here yesterday. There was a best of, and I'm not going to go into a lot of details. Everything is fine. My wife had to go to the doctor for a procedure. Everything is fine, and she's got something else she's got to do tomorrow that I need to be with her for. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow night either. But I will be back on Thursday. Just throwing that out there, just so you know. Just so you know. Tonight on the show, we've got another car into a building. We got to talk about it. And our we're notorious here in Dayton for our driving. So much so that Motor Trend has gotten in on the action, commenting on our driving ability, which we're going to get to. Also, we have some Ohio man stories. And I saw this just moments before I got on the air tonight. Ohio's drink of choice. If you enjoy an adult beverage from time to time, I have Ohio's drink of choice, and you might be a little surprised. But let's get this going. Cars crashing into buildings. Dayton drivers keep on crashing, colliding into homes and stores. Every week, another thrashing leaves the building feeling sore. Well, this happened Sunday afternoon. West Carrollton and Jefferson Township fire crews were dispatched to two Jefferson Township homes just around 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. The investigation of the incident shows the driver of a white 2018 Cadillac SUV failed to maintain reasonable control and went off the roadway, struck a house, and then crashed through a neighboring fence. Almost hit a second house. And I got a lot of questions when I posted that story on my Facebook. Yeah, that would count as two. Okay. Two buildings. If both had been hit, that would count as two. But as it was, it only hit one, thankfully. Though I will say that in the past, we have counted fencing as part of the structure. So I'm going to have to consult with my judges to find out whether or not this would count as two. But if not, we are at 115 for the year. The story says the car continued after hitting the house and ended its path in a neighboring backyard located on Blairwood Avenue. The driver and the homeowner were not injured in the crash, so that's good. Driver had no signs of impairment. So not sure what happened, but we are at 115 for the year. Just before I went on the air, somebody sent me a link to a story from Motor Trend magazine. I remember reading Motor Trend when I was in junior high and high school. It always come into the school library where I was working, and sometimes I'd work in the periodical section, and I would be in charge of all the magazines. And it's time to get a little boring around there. You just pick up a nice Motor Trend. But they have come up with the list of cities with best and worst drivers in America. And they decided this by the number of accidents, the number of DUIs, the number of speeding tickets, a whole number of criteria that they used. The best cities for driving in America, top 5. Number 5, Baton Rouge. Number 4, Hartford, Connecticut. Number 3, Louisville, Kentucky. Number 2, Little Rock, Arkansas. And number 1, Detroit, Michigan. Worst cities for driving. Number 5, Fresno, California. Number 4, Indianapolis, Indiana. Number 3, Riverside, California. And number 2, Dayton, Ohio. Number 1, Virginia Beach. So what makes Dayton the second worst place for driving in America, according to Motor Trend? It says Dayton makes the podium for worst drivers by city overall and also in terms of speeding and driving citations. It's 18th in the country for DUIs, 18th in the country for DUIs, and 33rd for accident rates. All that said, that second place for speeding ranking might be skewed somewhat by the Ohio State Patrol cracking down on speed enforcement. And we've talked about this a number of times. When you get out on 35 in particular, this is where I see it, right? I see it there, and people are just insane and speeding down 35, especially after rush hour. Like when I go home, probably around 7:20, 7:30 or so. I hit the highway. I got a little turbo, a little Kia Turbo, and I hit the highway probably going 60, 65. I'm getting blown by. It's insane how fast people speed on 35 when there's no traffic, and I don't ever see any cops out there either. But so Dayton ranks number 2 in the country for worst drivers in America. Give yourself a round of applause. Holy cow. We also have an Ohio man story. This is great. I love this so much.
He's Ohio man, causing chaos is his plan. Breaking all the laws, on the run from dusk to dawn.
Well, I've got 3 of them, so I'm going to spin the wheel here and see which one, A, B, or C. Oh, it lands on A. So here we go. Here's the question, or here's the not the question, but here's the story. Brecksville, Ohio. There's a guy that lives there who's been charged with falsely reporting an incident after claiming he'd been attacked by a bear. So this 47-year-old dude from Brecksville, Ohio, was visiting Kanawha County in West Virginia. Deputies there say first responders were called in the early morning of Friday, September 22nd, to assist a man in the woods. Dispatcher said the man claimed he was severely injured and stranded along steep terrain and had been attacked by bears. The man was allegedly claimed that he'd been walking for days. His phone was dying, and that the bears were circling him and stalking him, and he was going to die. Rescue groups responded, attempted to locate the man by using emergency lights and sirens to both scare away any bears and point the man towards their direction. While they searched for the man, he was on the phone with dispatchers and continued to say the bears were stalking him and that he began screaming. But after 2 hours of the search, crews finally found the man, and no, there were no bears and there were no visible injuries. He told deputies he was extremely intoxicated and just needed help getting out of the woods. Wow, Ohio man causing chaos. He apologized to deputies for their time. He was arrested and is being charged with falsely reporting an emergency incident. That is quintessential Ohio man. There's no question about it.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
All righty. How's everybody doing? Hey, Leslie. Hi, Matthew. Clinton, what's going on? Ashley. Marcia, it was good seeing you over the weekend. Had a great time out there at Heavier Than Air Brewing Company. What a good time that was. And talking to you and Nick and Ben and Nick Jr. and his girlfriend. Great time. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. Hey Denise, how you doing? Josh, what's up? Heather, hello. It is Taco Tuesday. Boy, that sounds good. Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. I'd like some tacos. Hey, Greg, how you doing? Thanks for checking out the show tonight. Coming up here in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about the new coolies. Ooh, pancake tacos. That's an interesting concept. Sharon, I'm doing well. Though today I walked out to my car in the garage and saw that I had a flat tire. So I got out my trusty air compressor and tried to put air in it, and I could only get it to 23 PSI, which is not what it should be for driving. But I did it anyway because I didn't have time to mess with a tow truck. And it was fine. There was enough air in there to get me to where I needed to go, to the Grismer and Beaver Creek. But I sat there for, I would say, almost 3 hours. Yeah, almost 3 hours, because they didn't have the tire that I needed in stock at that store. So they had to call another store and have them bring it to the location where I was at in Beaver Creek, which cost me another $25. But fortunately, I did have road coverage on my on my tires, and it only cost me like $70 for a new tire, which I forget how much they were originally. A couple hundred, I think. So yeah, I had to deal with that, which was fine. I'm glad the folks at Grismer were great. They got me in there and took care of things, and it was all good. It was I don't know, Clinton. It was either a screw or a nail, and the way it went in, it couldn't be repaired. It was on the sidewall, but underneath, like on the inside, so I couldn't see it. Well, yeah, I mean 70 because I had the coverage. Well, Josh, she was at a doctor's appointment getting some X-rays done. So, yeah, I was kind of on my own. It's all good. All good. Lonnie, you like crepes, huh? Yeah, I thought that was a little odd too, that Detroit was the best, but maybe Motor Trend is in Detroit. And their bias. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate that. Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Motor Trend came out with a list of cities with the best and worst drivers. Shockingly, Dayton is number 2 on the list for worst drivers. I'm surprised they didn't take into account, besides speeding and DUIs and accident rates, I guess cars crashing into buildings probably factors into the accident rates, but they need to drill a little deeper. If they expose that, then maybe we'd find out for sure whether or not Dayton has a real problem, more so than other cities, or maybe not. Maybe the cars crashing into buildings is a national phenomenon. Renee and Troy, what's up, Renee?
Hey, I'm going to drill a little deeper here.
Okay, please
Yeah.
drill
All
away.
And let me, because, my ex-husband is a law enforcement officer in Miami-Dade County, Florida, and I didn't realize what a terrible driver I was until I was married to him. And I was a terrible driver. Why? Because I had a lead foot. So I come here to Ohio with my new wonderful, loving boyfriend who, he does home health care. So he's dipping all over town, right?
You sure? Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got to be on his appointments on time. Well, the thing of it is, he doesn't give himself enough time. So therefore, what is he doing? He's tailgating.
Oh.
People don't understand tailgating here. It's like, okay, so tailgating when I was in high school was one car per every 10 miles per hour.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I remember that. I remember that from driver's ed.
Love you. Yes. Yeah. So if I'm going 70, I need to be 7 car lengths behind the car in front of me. Well, that doesn't happen here. I don't know about anywhere else in Miami County, but it doesn't happen here in Troy. And people are like on my rear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get back.
Yeah, it's that's a huge problem. Tailgating's a huge problem. I experience it, and I do it myself.
Oh. Well, you know what?
Not all the time.
I appreciate your confession. And from there we can grow as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, I was telling my boyfriend this, and I'm like, "Hey, this is a problem." So I no more telling him this, and Troy's got a lot of stuff going on downtown. As far as
sure. That building that they're fighting about. Yeah,
they're reconstructing and everything. Blah.
Yeah.
So I'm going through a left turn right in front of Kettering Hospital, and I was T-boned by a truck going 60.
Wow. Are you okay?
Well, yeah, no, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll live.
Well, I'm glad.
I'm alive.
I'm glad.
Thanks. But what I'm saying is the reason why that happened is because he was tailgating.
Sure.
And I'm like, you know what?
Yep.
People, lighten up behind the car in front of you. That's all I got. I just think that's it.
Okay, Renee.
That's drill deeper.
I thank you for drilling deeper. I got to fly. I got the news, but call anytime, Renee.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
All right. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Hi, Kim. Thanks for checking out the show tonight. Clinton, I've driven in and through Atlanta a number of times, and I don't really recall drivers being particularly bad in Atlanta, but what I do remember is just there's so much traffic. So much traffic. It's insane. And when you're going down 75 and it's 8 lanes wide and everybody's going 70 or some faster, it's a lot, and it can be overwhelming. I don't know if you all heard me at the beginning of the show. I'm going to be off tomorrow night as well. I'm not going to delve into it too much, but my wife is having a procedure. She's having a surgery here in a couple of weeks, and it's it's elective, and no, it's not implants. um, it's not quite elective. I mean, it's health related, but either way, she has a bunch of things that she has to do right before the surgery, and I need to be there with her for support. So anyway, um, so over the next few weeks, there's going to be days where I'm not going to be here just sort of randomly. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Thank you, Leslie. Yes, Clinton, she's having a gerbilectomy. You are wrong. You are so wrong. Oh, thanks, Denise. Thanks, Lana. That is true, Cynthia. Hey, Roxy, how you doing? My wife cannot stand those roundabouts, but she's getting much better at it. I think people coming into the roundabout miss they don't see the yield sign very easily. At least that's been my experience. Ashley, you love roundabouts? You're a big fan of the roundabout? I actually like roundabouts because of what they can do. They keep traffic moving. I would much rather have a roundabout than a four-way stop any day. But did you ever hear that call to a radio show where somebody was blaming the increased number of tornadoes on roundabouts? I played that not long ago. Let's see if I can find that. The cyclone effect. That is correct.
If your beverage needs some chillin', getting lukewarm and bland, an evening edge coolie will give a chill to your cans. Coolie, 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 coolie. Yeah, chill, baby. Coolie, 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 coolie.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. So last week, I revealed that we finally got approval for some promo merchandise to give away here on the show. It's been a long, hard fight, but finally we were able to secure some coolies. Not koozies, coolies. And it's going to have the logo. And it's going to have another fun little logo. You can see pictures of it on my Facebook. And I said I would talk about how we're going to give those away. So here's the deal. I created a little jingle, if you will, with that particular song you just heard, the Coolie Coolie song to Wooly Wooly. And if it happens to play while you're on the phone talking to me, you will win a coolie. Okay? Very simple. If it plays when I'm not on the phone with someone, you have to be the fifth caller. So you kind of have to listen and know what's going on. I can't just be doiling these things out willy-nilly. I don't have a ton. I mean, I've got a couple hundred, but they're going to go quick. They're going to go quick. I can just tell because people are excited about them. They've been commenting on Facebook. It's a huge, huge deal. These coolies, they're going to go fast. So be listening for that. If I'm talking to somebody, they win. If not, you could win. 937-457-1290 is our number. Let's talk to, Tracy in West Carrollton. What's up, Tracy?
Hello.
Hello. What's going on?
So you hit a topic that I could go on for an hour, and I know you would hang up on me, so I won't go off into my tangent.
Oh, I want to hear your tangent.
Drivers.
I want to hear your bad driver tangent, Tracy.
Oh, you probably don't.
You know what? We could actually make this a feature. Tracy's tangents.
Really?
I don't know. Why not? Do whatever we want on this show. Anyway, go ahead. What are your thoughts on this?
These are the worst drivers I have ever met or seen in my entire life. My 20-year-old daughter, when she was 16, had her temp. We got on, she's in Kettering, I'm in West Carrollton, but we would get on down at Main Street and then head south to go through the construction, through downtown Dayton, 35, the Edwin C. mess, just all of that.
Right.
Over and over and over during rush hour, so I could point out the 120 stupid things people will do that she needs to watch out for. Then, after she got a little more experience, we would do this on the highway during slower times and, worked up to the rush hour manic crap that goes on.
Well, that's good.
And
holy cow. It sounded like something just flew right by you.
Oh, yeah, something did just fly right by me.
Wow.
But I actually always wanted to be a driving instructor for the sole purpose of impounding in people's heads generally speaking, accidents are not accidents. They're avoidable.
Sure.
People drive like idiots.
Yeah, they do. They don't pay attention, and it's now even worse with all the distractions on your phone and on your screen, and now it's
Touchscreen is the dumbest thing anybody could have ever come up with in a vehicle.
Yeah, I got you.
Remember, you're my age roughly, give or take a year.
Yeah.
Remember buttons, dials, sliders? You could just feel.
Yeah.
You have to take your eyes off the road to mess with your touchscreen. It's the dumbest thing anybody could have ever come up with in a vehicle.
I got you, Tracy. I got you. I feel your pain. And please, if you have a rant on something else, give us a call. Chris in Dayton. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Todd.
Hey.
Talking about dumb drivers. I used to be a truck driver, and I drove all over this state. And if you could see some of the dumb things that I've seen, but now I'm a maintenance man for a property management company.
Okay.
And I do a lot of traveling. And as a matter of fact, today on my way to Lowe's, I had this little black truck come up behind me, whip around me, whip in front of me, whip in front of somebody else. And he ended up getting stopped by the red light.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause they were trying to race you to the light, right?
Yeah. And I'm just doing the speed limit, and he looks over in his shades and plays with his radio. But I see that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. That and texting and driving.
Yeah. Where were you at when that happened?
In Washington Township.
Okay, it wasn't me.
Woodman.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Just making sure.
It was on Woodman.
Because I got a little black car, and I got my shades, I got the radio on, and I'm trying to think if I whipped in front of anybody today, but I don't think so. Wasn't me.
Well, you don't have a little black truck, do you?
Oh, you said truck. Okay. No, right. No, it wasn't a truck. It wasn't me. Just making sure, Chris. Just making sure.
Yeah. But I tell you, it's just amazing.
I got you.
I watched a lady one day. She was eating cereal out of a bowl.
With a spoon, or was she at least drinking it?
With a spoon.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's a problem. What you want to do is you want to get a big plastic beer cup, right? And you want to put the cereal in it. Then you want to put some milk, and then you just drink it down as you're driving. That's all you got to do. Just drink it down. You don't need a spoon. That's ridiculous. We got some beer news.
Don't you like beer?
Beer.
You want some beer?
You're not beer. It's beer.
How about another beer?
Where's my beer?
We're low on beer.
You drank all the beer.
I have respect for beer.
Well, I saw this story just before I came on the air tonight, and this was a story from WKRC in Cincinnati. There is a new poll that reveals that Ohioans are most what? Let me back up. A new poll reveals what Ohioans are most likely to drink when they go out to eat. This is from the restaurant management company called Toast. Their researchers looked at what the most popular alcoholic drinks and spirits were by state. Unsurprisingly, across the country, beer is the number one drink.
Beer.
Except in Ohio, where it's hard seltzer. And I have to tell you, I've catch grief sometimes because I like White Claw. I enjoy White Claw Surge because it's got a little bit of an extra kick. And I've taken grief from my friends. And I just don't like the way beer generally makes me feel. Makes me feel bloated. Gives me a, worse hangover if I drink too much. Not my thing. I'm past that. I'm 54 years old. I'm tired of that. So I prefer the seltzer. You get your favorite flavors. You put them on the rocks. It's like a little cocktail. I'm not a big liquor drinker anymore. I was in my younger day, but not so much anymore. Again, sort of outgrown that. But I like the hard seltzer. Researchers found that Ohio restaurants sold over 160% more hard seltzer on average than any other state. So Ohio is, in fact, the capital of hard seltzer. As for spirits, vodka was preferred by most, but whiskey is favorite in West Virginia, Wyoming, Indiana, Kansas, and Kentucky. Kansas ranked number 1 for most whiskey consumed per restaurant location, but Ohio placed second. So it comes down to, I guess, hard seltzer and spirits. Olivia and Troy, what's up, Olivia?
Hey.
Hey. You're up, Olivia.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, hey, are we talking about seltzers or the traffic?
You could talk about whatever you want. You can combine the two if you want.
Well, that wouldn't be good. Drinking seltzers and driving, definitely not.
Okay. All right. Well,
good for either one. Well, I'm a dispatcher for a company in Troy, Ohio.
Okay.
And they do concrete, Ernst Concrete, Bellbrook Transportation.
Okay.
And we have a lot of truck drivers. They're out on the roads all day.
Right.
And they constantly talk about how a lot of the drivers are just not, they're not consistent as far as being respectable for, these guys are hauling 80,000 pound loads.
Yeah.
And just how they have a tendency to, just like cut in front of them and just not be considered that there's a lot of weight that there has to be stopped.
Yeah, that's right.
Folks, when you call in,
that's
turn your
issue that
radio
people think
down.
about. And, it is fall time and they're kind of wrapping up the concrete business. So there's a lot more concrete trucks on the road and they're getting tired as well, working 12, 13-hour days.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that the public should be considerate about.
Sure.
Trying to fix these roads out here. We all want better roads to drive on.
That's right. That's right. And a lot of the roads aren't that great. I mean, that's another study. Like, who has the worst roads? We've got some pretty bad roads here in the Dayton area. And if you're not paying attention and you're not, following the rules or whatever, it becomes even more hazardous. So I appreciate appreciate your call, Olivia. 937-457-1290. You got any thoughts on that? And what do you think about the hard seltzer thing? Have you made the switch?
What am I listening to now?
What is this? The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
Double D.
H.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Are you talking about, Denise, are you talking about this right here? Okay, you know what? It's very easy. Go to YouTube and find the song "Celebrity Skin" by the band Hole, and that is the intro. That's the song that I use for the intro. Now there is a karaoke version that's really, really good. So there's no lyrics to it. And I did a little bit of editing for my show open. But it's the same deal. So it's Celebrity Skin by Hole. I'll tell you what. I'm going to try to come up with an easy, fun way to give away a Evening Edge Coolie on the live stream, because I know many of you aren't able to call. Some people call, but many of you are doing other things, just can't call. And I don't want you to be deprived. So let me work on that. Let me try to come up with a way that we can do that. Comment of the day, maybe? I don't know. I have a Doordasher story next hour, and it's actually an Idiot of the Week candidate. My favorite is the White Claw Surge Cranberry. That's solid. Oh yeah, I've had the Kim. I've had the grapefruit. That's pretty good too. That's like the regular White Claw. I get the White Claw Surge that has a little more oomph to it. Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Motor Trend magazine put out a list of cities with the best and worst drivers. And shockingly, Dayton did not make the top 5 of the best cities for drivers. It did, however, finish number 2 for the worst drivers. And we've been hearing stories about how bad our drivers are from folks. 457-1290. Let's talk to Tim and Troy. What's up, Tim? Oops, sorry. Hang on for a second. Hit the wrong button. Hey, Tim, what's going on, man?
Hey, Todd. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing awesome. I'd like to say before I get into the driving, you moved up a couple of notches, and I'm glad that you have standards and that you drink White Claw and not any of that Truly stuff.
Oh, I've tried Truly once, and it was truly not my not my preference.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking the claw.
That's right.
That goes, right.
That is right. That's the slogan on my house at my house on a Saturday night, or really any other night of the week. But anyway, go ahead.
Sure. So I've lived all over, spent a lot of time just north of Boston and down in Atlanta. And I broke my horn on my car when I lived in Boston.
Yeah.
Just from, people cutting me off and everything. And then when I'm in Atlanta, I'm driving, 80 miles an hour on the highway, and there's a gal putting her eye makeup on. There's a guy reading a book. So I'm fairly new to the area, so I'm trying to get that Dayton kind of, the worst drivers. I'm not there yet, man. So I could use a little, what am I looking for? Is it cutting off? Just help me out a little bit.
So here are a couple of things that you need to be aware of, and they've already been brought up on the show. We have a real problem with tailgating, so that's a real problem. I also believe that our roads are not very good, and that causes treacherous situations, on their own. Also, one of the problems that we have is my issue is that there's a lot of tinted windows, and the problem is you can't see when they are flipping you off, and they can't necessarily see you flipping them off.
Makes a lot of sense. No, I can go that, or when they're reloading their handgun.
Well, or that, yeah, or that as well. They used to crack down on dark tinted windows, but not anymore.
Very
now,
good, man.
Yeah. All right, Tim, I appreciate your call, man. I gotta fly.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Brian, first of all, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And I couldn't agree more. Oh, it drives me nuts. That drives me nuts more than I think anything else. is people driving slow in the passing lane. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're going the speed limit. It really doesn't. You might be a law-abiding citizen and you're going to drive 55 when it says 55. But if you're doing that in the passing lane, you're the problem. Get out of the way. Just get out of the way. If the person passing you, I'm going to talk about this. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for mentioning that. That is awesome. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Leslie, you are correct. Ashley, you are correct. I'll be right back. I got to turn off the air conditioning. It's freezing in here. Good Lord. Blowing right on me. Cry, baby. Cry, baby. Well, that's an annoyance too, Renee. I don't like the whipping in and out of traffic, people passing. Thanks for checking in, Captain Scurvy. Hey, Jen, how you doing?
Okay, so what impresses me? Personally, I love funny guys. If you can make me laugh, then nothing else matters. A funny guy is a very attractive guy.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Talking about Dayton finishing in the top 5. Motor Trend Magazine. List of cities with best and worst drivers in America. Nope, we're not on the best list. Number 2 for worst drivers in America. Based on a variety of criteria, DUIs, speeding, driving citations, accident rates. Number 2. And we were just talking to a guy by the name of Tim. I hope he's still listening because he was asking me for some tips. Because he used to live in Boston, lived in Atlanta, now he's in Dayton. And he's trying to get used to Dayton drivers. In Boston, he said that he broke his horn, tooting at so many people. In Atlanta, it was just people were all driving, like it was NASCAR. And he asked me for some tips. One that I neglected to tell him, and thank you for somebody mentioned it on the live stream. If you're driving in the left lane on the highway, that's the passing lane. If you're going to drive the speed limit, good for you. Get out of the passing lane. Get into the middle lane, or even better, the far right lane. I admire your desire to be a law-abiding citizen. Okay? But if traffic is trying to go 75 and you're sitting there going 65 in the left lane, you're the problem. You are the problem. If somebody wants to go past you and get a speeding ticket, that's on them. That's on them. It's not up to you. Get out of the way. If you're going to go the speed limit, get in the middle lane or the right lane or whatever the far right, how many lanes there might be. Just don't drive in the passing lane. You shouldn't be driving in that lane anyway, unless you're passing. That's why it's called the passing lane. But some people don't get that, and they're just oblivious to it. Just oblivious. Well, I'm going the speed limit. Well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Get out of the way. So, Tim, that's a tip. Take that from your friend Todd. And I don't think he didn't strike me as the kind of guy who was going to go the speed limit in the passing lane. He seems like a hardcore dude. He lived in Boston, lived in Atlanta. So I'm just saying, do yourself a favor. If you're going to drive the speed limit, stay out of the passing lane. It's not that hard of a concept. Kayla in Miamisburg. What's up, Kayla?
What's up, Todd?
How are you?
It's your favorite Amazon driver.
Oh, Kayla from the Dark Edge podcast calling in. How are you?
I'm good. I'm out here with the bad drivers, currently. So I just wanted to call in and give my 2 cents on that. As you know, as an Amazon driver, being on the road like 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Plenty of tales I could tell you about that. But one thing people need to also notice is that hazard lights means to like slow down or go around,
right?
Not speed up and get closer.
Right. That's, and you deal with that all the time because you've got to make stops, right? And sometimes
you stop like every 30 seconds, and people don't,
And some homes, and I don't know what the policy is. I don't know if you're allowed to park in driveways. No. Oh, so you have to just park in the street. That's it. Yeah. So you have to slow down, go around, give them space.
Yeah, and plus, especially like in like rural areas, when you're looking, and it's like, especially if it's dark, you got to look for like 1-inch tall address numbers on a mailbox in the dark in a place you've never been. It's like, you gotta. That's when you throw on the hazards and you slow down because you're like, I'm trying to see.
Yeah.
So people, anyone listening, just cut your delivery drivers a break with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, also with my ghost hunting stuff, I've been in like all these different states, and I'll say Connecticut, like the Boston guy, Connecticut's horrible. Like the second the light changes, they're on the horn. Like, go
yeah.
now,
So any place up northeast, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, places like that. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, horrible. Yeah.
I got you.
But I had the solution here for that. I think if they just went back to everyone driving stick shift, you wouldn't have time to be messing around with everything else.
That is true.
I drove stick for 15 years, and it was horrible because I couldn't eat like tacos in the car or anything.
Well, you know what? It probably saved your life or kept you from crashing into a house.
Oh my God, did it ever?
Yeah. All right, Kayla.
Yep.
Appreciate your call. Talk to you soon. See ya. That line's open. Chris in Inglewood. What's up, Chris?
Howdy. 2 comments. On leave after drivers, and people get the driver's license cut off, so they never have to use turn signals again.
Say that one more time because you were breaking up.
Oh, I'm saying, I believe that they're in Dayton get their driver's license. They had their left hand amputated, so they don't need to use their turn signal.
That's funny. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. Jimmy and Dane, what's up, Jimmy?
Yeah, fellow UPS driver. I just listened to your conversation with Caleb.
Yes.
I've contracted road rage from my job.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine if you have to drive for a living.
Yeah.
I get irritated driving to and from work or wherever I might be going, but I'm usually never in the car for more than maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes at a time. Right?
Yeah.
You guys and gals out there, 10 hours a day. Oh my gosh. I'm surprised that there aren't more stories of UPS and Amazon drivers just going nuts on people.
Well, I love my job, so we can't go nuts on people.
Well, sure, I get that, but sometimes you can't hold it in, Jimmy. You can't hold it in.
I know. I honestly, I think the worst part is when I'm driving with my wife on the weekends, and my wife is the best passenger side driver in the world. And me being a UPS guy, I'm probably the most aggressive driver in the world because, I mean, I've been driving for UPS for 10 years. I've been with the company for 20.
Right.
And so I've seen everything.
Yeah.
And now driving for 10 years, I've seen everything. I've seen accidents in front of me. I've seen people on their phones. I've seen people eating, makeup, you name it.
Sure.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I'm with my wife, she's like telling me to slow down or not be so aggressive, and she hates semis and stuff like that. And I'm just not afraid on the road anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
But
have you become though a little more brazen though? A little more aggressive, you think? You say? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm totally more aggressive. I'm surprised I have not. I mean, I have a pretty good driving record myself, but I'm positive that I probably should have gotten into a ton of accidents because of how aggressive I am on the road.
Well, you know what, Jimmy? I don't know if you would ever consider this, but I do this on the weekends. Almost exclusively, my wife drives.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. My wife doesn't like to drive on the interstate.
Yeah, I get that.
And so I have to drive on the interstate.
Well, she drives on the weekends, and if we do have to do something like that, go on a long trip or whatever, I will be the one who drives generally. But I just let her. I just let her do the driving. I just sit there with my bottle of water.
Yep, bottle of water, phone in your hand, and just kind of let her do the driving.
Yeah. And then every once in a while, I hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I take it. I take control of that while I'm in the car, and I keep us pretty safe. And my kids think that I'm a decent driver. I think so. We're good.
Well, good. Maybe they will become also decent drivers, learning from your experience. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate your call. 937-457-1290. Here's a quick question. Do you think that you could pick your dog, I guess even cat, out of a police lineup, if all of them looked pretty much the same? Do you think you could do it? Think about it.
What am I listening to now?
What is this? The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up, punk.
T-O.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Nope, the picture's not frozen. It's just me. I'm not moving. I'm trying to find something. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. I'm trying to find a picture. Where is it? I thought there was. I guess I don't have it. I thought I had it. Trying to find a picture of me and former Baltimore Orioles Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson. Apparently, he just passed away. And I got to meet him and played catch with him. At a baseball fantasy camp. But I don't archive. Let's see. I can't find it. Well, I guess I'll just have to look for it later. I know I have it somewhere, but I'm not seeing it, which is irritating. That was on me. Sorry. Giving Logan a heart attack in there. My bad. Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. All right, here's this story. There was a dog owner, a couple of dog owners. I think this was in Minnesota. They both have golden retrievers, and they took them to the same doggy daycare, and they were both being groomed. After they were done, one of the owners picked up their dog, took it home, and they didn't notice anything at first. Like, the dog wasn't acting odd in any way, but their cats in the house started attacking the dog. And then the dog started giving out face kisses, which their dog apparently had never done. And they couldn't figure it out. What's going on with our golden retriever? Well, it turns out they brought home the wrong golden retriever. This was a different dog from a different house. And they didn't notice. They didn't notice when they picked up the dog at the daycare. I have to be honest, I've seen pictures of multi-poos because that's what our Luna is. She's a multi-poo and she's white. I've seen pictures, online, and I go, oh my God, that looks just like Luna. Lily, on the other hand, she's got some color in her face. She's kind of tan and she's got some brown. So, maybe I would pick that up. But just completely white, curly, fuzzy dog. I guess that could happen. So I'm just curious if that's ever happened to you. You ever gone to pick up your dog? And I guess it could also happen with a cat. Or whatever animal you may have taken somewhere to an animal daycare or the vet or the groomers and accidentally brought home the wrong pooch?
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
All right. Sorry about that. I was taking care of something with my producer. Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7, talking about how bad Dayton drivers are. Motor Trend Magazine put out a list, the top 5 best and worst drivers in America. And Dayton was named number 2 for being the worst, for having the worst drivers. And many people seem to be in agreement. Also, a crazy story about these people in Minnesota. They went to pick up their golden retriever at the doggy daycare / groomer. And it turns out that there were 2 identical looking dogs in there that day. And yeah, they brought home the wrong dog. And the question is, like, could you pick your dog out of a lineup, like a police lineup? Your dog is out there committing all kinds of crazy crime, or is he? Or is she? And the cops pull him in, and they've got 5 identical looking dogs. Do you think you could pick them out? I'm not so sure. You think you could because they're your dog and you know them so well. But I've seen, like I said, pictures of multi-poos online, and I swear that's Luna. And I know it's not. So I would probably be one of those people. When they finally figured it out, it was because the cats in their house were giving the dog all kinds of shenanigans. And the dog was, all about giving face kisses, which their dog never did. And they finally took it to the vet, and they scanned it in their little pet chip scanner. Turns out, wasn't their dog. So they got it all worked out. And now their retriever has a friend. The two retrievers became friends. Tim and Lima, what's up, Tim?
Hey, not much. Just want to talk about drivers.
Yeah, go for it.
I also want to mention one other thing, but I think the worst thing out there is like, and I'm not sure if anybody mentioned it yet, but when you're trying to merge onto the highway and you have a couple of trucks in the right-hand lane and they won't bother to slow down or give you an inch to get on the highway. They'd rather run you off the road.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. I've been in that situation. Now, sometimes I guess the truckers might not be able to get over or either, because of traffic. And generally, when you're merging, it's really up to you to decide how fast you need to go or how slow you need to go, and try to work your way in. But it's a challenge for sure, especially if you got a long line of trucks.
Right.
Yeah.
And hey, I had a dream about you the other night, and I thought it was pretty.
Wait.
I was going to tell you on Facebook, but I wanted to tell you in person.
Wait a second. Hold on. You had a dream about me?
Yes, sir. I had a dream that I was in my car, and you were standing outside of my car, the passenger side.
Okay.
And you were like, "Hey, you want to drive around town with the Jesus statue?" And I was like, "Sure, that sounds like fun." Next thing I know, I'm looking over to the passenger side, and there's the Jesus statue in my seat.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's a predictable dream, I guess. Me and a giant Cheez-It statue, right? Certainly if you're going to have a dream, it's certainly going to have to involve Cheez-Its. That's for sure. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate your call. Larry in Riverside. What's up, Larry?
Hey, Todd. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good.
So what's up, man?
About the dogs that look alike.
Yeah.
I had a white Siberian Husky.
Okay.
This was in the 90s. And the dog used to get out of the yard quite a bit, escape.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm coming home from work one day, and I seen, his name was Sequoia. I seen Sequoia in the alley 3 blocks from my house. So anyhow, I picked Sequoia up. He's in my back seat, wagging his tail, real nice. Get to my backyard with the car, and Sequoia's already chained up in my yard.
Wrong Sequoia. Wrong dog.
That dog just said, so I was like, I got to get this dog. So I took it back to the same spot.
That's funny. Now, did you try to find the owner, or did you just kick it out of the car where you picked it up?
Some girl come running out.
Oh, wow.
And she said, "You got that mean dog in your car." And I was like, I thought it was mine. We had to open every door, and she made me get in her yard until that dog got out.
Oh, wow. That's funny. That's good stuff. Thank you for that, Larry. Let's see. Tom in Beaver Creek. What's up, Tom?
All right. So I wanted to know how this was calculated, because did whoever came up with this list, did they factor in the fact that we have so many drivers in Dayton that like to park their car inside of buildings? Like drive-through buildings?
Well, you make a great point, Tom, because I mentioned this earlier. I said they used speeding tickets, driving citations, and DUIs and accident rates. Now, I'm guessing that the cars crashing into buildings probably is included in that accident rate, but they didn't drill down deep enough to see, there's a bunch of those that involve buildings.
Yeah,
so
from where I'm coming from, if we don't count driving into buildings, I don't see how we're in the top 5. But if we're explicitly counting it, we're probably number 1.
Well, it could be. It could be. It also says that Dayton is 18th in the country for DUIs.
Well, I don't know about that. But
well, I mean, that's their...
Not for me, at least.
Well, sure. But they're basing that on police records. They go in and they look and see what it is. And they probably talk to insurance companies or whatever, and they find out, who's doing what. So
I do. I got one more quick thing for you.
Sure.
My 4-year-old daughter is a big fan of yours.
Really?
About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I called in. We're talking about. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but she didn't understand what I was doing because we were driving in the car, driving home. And she's like, "Daddy, who are you talking to?" And I said, "Well, I called in on the radio." And she goes, you were on the radio?" And I managed to get that small delay, after I hung up to hear my voice just for a couple of seconds. And so now every time we're in the car driving home, she's like, "Daddy, call the radio. Daddy, call the radio.
Whoa.
Talk to the guy on the radio."
Wait, hold on. Tom.
Yeah?
You are the lucky winner. The Coolie jingle. You are the first winner of an Evening Edge Coolie.
Cool.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like a koozie, but you can use it on on a can of Coke or whatever.
Oh,
if you're
excellent.
Yeah. Or your 4-year-old, does she still have sippy cups?
Oh yeah, they also have that. I don't trust her without a lid.
Yeah, try to find a sippy cup that will fit nicely into that Coolie, okay?
All right.
Hang on the line. And what's your daughter's name?
Marley.
All right. Hey, Marley. How you doing? Hope you're well.
She's on in the car with me.
Oh, okay.
With Mom.
All right. Well, anyway, I appreciate it, Tom. Hang on the line. We'll get your details, and I'll mail it out to you, okay?
Sweet. Thank you.
All right. There you go. See that? Now, this is what I'm saying. You call in, and you hear the Coolie jingle. If I'm talking to you, you win yourself a Coolie. If I'm not talking to somebody, I will tell you, be the 5th caller, and you will win. Easy as that. Mark and Piqua, what's going on, Mark? Mark, I don't know what's going on. Are you in a convertible?
Yeah, I'm on a bicycle, but I just.
Oh, you're on a bicycle. All right,
Yep.
Go ahead. What's up, man?
Hey, I drive a donut delivery route. Comes through Dayton about 4:00 every morning. 75 south. Oh yeah, donuts.
Yeah.
And when it hits 55, right around Wagner Ford.
Yeah.
I'll back it down to about 62, and I am by far the slowest thing on the road. I'm almost dangerous.
Right.
It's that wild.
Yeah. Well,
and you know what the problem is?
What's that?
There's no place to pull over. They can't pull you over there. That whole area through Dayton, there's no place to pull people over, and drivers know it.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're not going to risk their life and limb trying to pull somebody over unless it's egregious. If you're hitting 95 or 100, then sure. But 80, 85, maybe not. Especially if you're keeping up with traffic. Yeah.
And talk about aggressive drivers. My wife is the worst. Absolutely the worst.
Is that why you're riding a bike right now? Try to keep yourself safe.
I'll tell you what, I would never. I hate to ride with her.
My wife is not a bad driver at all, but I will say that every once in a while, she doesn't react to certain things as quickly as I would. She reacts, but maybe a second or two later. And in that moment of 2 seconds, I'm like, and I grab the OS bar, and she always makes fun of me for that. But so.
Now, maybe I'm just too used to driving around a van full of donuts, and you don't want them flying.
Well,
through the
that's
air
right.
inside the
You know
van,
what?
so.
Yeah, I see stickers all the time on the back of cars that say precious cargo. You, my friend, might have the most precious of cargo.
You got it.
Dozens and dozens of donuts. All right, Mark, I appreciate your call. That line's open, 937-457-1290.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. You might have just heard that little news tease from Ron Otto talking about a local broadcaster who passed away, and he's referring to, and he'll have more, Don Brown, longtime sports director at WKEF 22. I never worked with Don, but I knew him a little bit from a couple of instances. One, he was also the longtime host of the MD telethon that they would do every year here in Dayton. Of course, that was in association with Jerry Lewis and the MDA telethon. I think I said MD telethon, MDA telethon. And he would tirelessly work on that throughout the year, and especially during that Labor Day weekend when they would hold it. And he was always a very friendly guy to me. I was on that show a couple of times, presenting a check that whichever radio station I was working at the time, if we'd done a promotion or, a campaign or whatever it might be. And one thing I remember specifically about him was if they'd ever reach like a campaign goal, like there'd be a challenge. And I remember seeing this a handful of times. He'd pull out an accordion and he would play the accordion as like a reward because we reached a certain goal. And I always thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And the other way that I know him is from when I worked with the Dayton Dragons back during their inaugural season. I'd see him down there all the time because he was covering, the Dragons for Channel 22. And he'd be palling around with Mike Hartsock, the longtime news director at News Center 7. And those two guys were really good friends. So, it's sad. I don't know if he was ill. I think I heard this morning on Miami Valley's Morning News with Larry Hanskin that he passed away in his sleep over the weekend. So, and I think he was 63. So condolences to his family, of course, and all of his, close friends and former coworkers. Well, there you go. There's the show. Thanks for listening tonight and watching on the live stream. Have a terrific Tuesday night. I will be back on Thursday. I'm off tomorrow night, so have a great day, and we'll talk to you then. All righty, everybody. Have a terrific night. And I will see you on Thursday. Be safe.